Seems legit.
Hello my legitimates and welcome back to my channel. Today we are playing on my cylinder arm because I felt like it, and we're using this absolutely gorgeous snake fabric. Even though I am petrified of snakes in the wild, this is really cute and I like pet snakes and it looks like a python and pythons won't kill me. So we are doing this today. This is called the Page Turner wallet. And it is super cool. So you've got these two little tabs and then you open out. It's all a raw edge design, but in saying that, these don't have raw edges the way it is designed. The only raw edge is this one up here, which of course you can edge coat if you want to. So we've got a whole bunch of card slots inside, and then when we close this, let me just do this where I can see what I'm doing. You can then come and there's a zipper pocket on the back panel. This was really fun to do. Also, I'm finally remembering to say it. Please subscribe to my channel and like the video if you actually like the video. So let's get started. Alright, so here's all the stuff. I hope. I cut this out a long time ago, so we might have another repeat of where I didn't do that. Okay, so this is the inner card panel. I can show you the back because you can't see measurements. And on the front, you have this seam. You actually have quite, hold on, if I put my finger over it, you've got a few lines. We don't necessarily care about drawing this one, but we do want to draw this line on the back of the vinyl, and same for the reverse one. So this is the inner card. We also want to do the same for the outer card panel, which again looks the same, but it's like reversed. See how that is? Right, so first thing we're going to do is take our clear vinyl and stitch it up. So let me just sit that there on top of my laptop. So we need a double-sided tape. I am going to use my 1/8 of an inch, which is nice and skinny and glorious. As soon as I find the end, there it is. Now this stuff is terrible and I love that. So you don't need to have snips. I'm not quite used to it. As you can tell, I'm being very awkward about the whole situation. But like anything, you need to get used to it. And I'm just not used to having to pull and tear. As you can tell, I just watched that as well. That's all right. It's all a learning curve. Give me a month and I'll be doing this like a professional. Or you could just snip a piece, which was too long anyway, so I should have just torn it. I will get used to the tearing. It will take a process. Like it took me a while to work out the folding method without drawing a line. Like anything, practice does make perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off all the backing parts. Now the way this pattern is written, it is a raw edge pattern, so you will need to use vinyl or cork or stuff that doesn't fray. Certain waterproof canvases would be okay, but I would highly recommend cork and vinyl for this pattern. Right, into the bin she goes. I've got the pattern up just in case I need it. So then I'm just going to stick this on like so. Stick it on. Now, I just went to knee lift then, which obviously doesn't work because there isn't one. Now I want to start in the top edge here and off I go. Needle down, pivot. Oh, this machine sounds lovely since I got it serviced. Pivot. It's got a little bit of oil from the machine. These things happen. Back to the start. And then I'm going to pull a fair amount, flip it over, pull the stitches through and tie them off. So that's one. So I'm going to grab the shortest of the two sides and then do 1, 2, 3 knots. And then grab this one. I don't like using that. Let's use my glorious sewing awl. I love these things. And so then you can either, I like 3 knots. I find that 2's not quite strong enough and 4's just ridiculous. Personally, 3 is my happy number for stuff like this. But you can honestly do whatever you like. I'm not the boss of you. There we go. Stitched on. Now the pattern comes where you can put something fancy in the window if you want to. I'm not going to do that today, but what I have done is cut a very, very, very long piece of this. I'm going to grab some scissors and just cut off the fluffy end because we don't want that. And so then what we can do is double-sided tape, and I'm going to use 1/4 inch for this. This one's not terrible, unfortunately. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some double-sided tape at the bottom. And so my method is if you're not putting the little window backing in, because I don't have any fabric that perfectly matches my snakes. I mean, I could put snake vinyl, but then we're getting too thick. The idea is it's something thinner. Alright. So this is where I've put all my double-sided tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this bottom piece, peel it off, and then I'm just going to stick the bottom of this to there, like so. So that will now cover the window so that we get this little pink kind of hideaway thing. And we're going to come and stitch the second line. So the first one doesn't need to be stitched. Lift up my tail. So we're going to go in. Oops, I nearly just lost my thread then. You got to make sure you got a good tail, otherwise it will disappear. So I'm actually going to stitch it from this way so that I can see my foot better. So we're going to start here, we're going to do a hole and then go back into the first hole, or you can pull it through and tie it off, and then I'm going to stitch. Bit of back stitching, and that is our first one done, and I've covered up that first hole so we can still get in there. Always check, right, because it's very easy to miss that. And so now we need to fold this down, and the pattern has the measurement for where we need to put this. If you don't have a measurement, what you can do is literally get a card, measure it from here as far down as it needs to go, and then fold it back up. I need to go and get the measurements. Give me a sec. Okay, so I have my measurement line. We're going to put some 1/4 inch double-sided tape at that line, like that. You don't need to do the full way. It can be anywhere within there because it's just to hold this piece down. So we're now going to fold it down at that line, like so. And then I'm going to pick off the next piece of double-sided tape and fold that up and over, like so. Push it down onto the tape, flip her over, and off we go. So again, I'm stitching it this way because of the foot that I have. And again, I nearly just lost my tail. Stop it. Alright, so we're going to stitch there, we're going to stitch, back stitch, and off we go. Get to the end and back stitch to lock in all your stitches. Again, if you want to, you can pull it back and tie it through. I'm not doing that today. We're going to grab a ruler and then 1/2 inch up from that line, and I can tell you this measurement because I'm pretty sure it's the same in all cardstock patterns that are done like this. Right, draw a line, double-sided tape, stick her on, cut it off. bend her down, like so. Take off the next piece of double-sided tape, bend it up, like that. Stick it down to the tape here, flip her over. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to hold on to this so that it doesn't try and disappear. Stitch, back stitch. Forward we go. Oh, that sounds so much better now it's had a service. Definitely sounds different. If you go back and listen to some older videos, I reckon it's going to sound very different. But anyway, it's kind of irrelevant for right now. Alright, next one. Draw a line. Double-sided tape. Oops. Where's the edge there? So the tape just holds it in place and makes it easier. You don't have to do the tape. I do highly recommend it, however. Bend it down. Pull that back. Keep putting your rubbish in the bin. Stick it up there. Twist it around. I'm going to hold on to this top tail because it likes to disappear. Alright, stitch. Back stitch. And off we go. Get to the end, back stitch, pull it out. We're just going to do this on repeat until all of the card slots are done, and then we're going to repeat it with the other side. Lots and lots of card slots, guys. Doesn't matter if the sticky tape goes on crooked, that is irrelevant. Alright, pull it down, stick her down, pull it up, stick it up. Make sure you crease here, it does help. Right, and then again, we're going to feed it in, go down, stitch, back stitch, forward stitch. Oh, that was unpleasant. What just happened there? I don't know. It looks perfectly fine from the back. That's alright. I will just stitch from the other side. So the other thing you can do is do a stitch and then just lift up and go back into the first hole. You can do it either way. Stitch it back. Cut off all of your millions of tails. And then we're just going to do one more. So again, ruler, double-sided tape. So this last one we're not going to stitch. I'm actually just going to stick it in place and we'll come back to it later. So we go down, line it up, and then we're going to put a piece of sticky tape at the very top, just inside that raw edge. So we eventually will stitch it, but not touch it. Alright, peel off your backing. Fold this up, like that. And then I'm going to grab some scissors. Let me just twist my card around so I can grab stuff easier. And you want to cut it just below the raw edge part, like that. So then it won't pop out the top, but it looks fabulous. And this bit I don't need. If you can keep these for like smaller card slots in like a purse pal or not, sorry, pocket pal by Lynn's Handmade. So now we need double-sided tape. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch. We're going to put it against both the raw edges. 1 and 2. like that. Pull off this side over here. Whoops. And then we're going to fold that over and up to the line that we drew. And that's why it's important to draw that line. All right, push it down, squish it down. Then I'm going to take off this piece here. And with that all stuck together, we're going to fold that over to hide all our raw edges, like so. And then I'm going to stitch down that edge. And I'm going to go from this way so that I get a bit of grip on it. So we're going to stitch. I'm going to do one stitch and then I'm going to go back into the first hole like that, and then off we go. And then again, we can go through the last hole, that one, and pull it out, like so. And that is now one card section done. Now, as you can see, it's not dead flat. My little trick for this is I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna go put this into my heat press, but without turning the heat press on. So it's just gonna cold press it down and you will see the difference. So hold up. All right, and now we're gonna repeat all of those processes again. As soon as I clean this, see how it's dirty? I don't wanna use it dirty, so hold up. An alcohol wipe is a wonderful thing. That is exactly the same piece of plastic, just much, much better now. All right, stick this down. And then across there. And down the side. You can tear this, but we all saw my tearing skills earlier. So I'm going to snip this. Just while I'm not, this is a lot higher sitting here. It's very different feel. Alright, so we're going to peel off all of our backings and then put them in the bin. Because if you clean up as you go, you don't have a big mess to clean before you can start your next project. I don't know, it might feel annoying to have to do it this way, but ultimately it is quicker. So I'm going to line that up along there, pop it on. Move my skirt out of the way. Not the smartest thing to wear, but it is pretty, so it totally counts. Alright, and then I'm going to start with my needle there, and off we go. Needle down, pivot. Pivot. Right, while I'm here, if you want to, you can pull out that first one and then tie it off while other stuff is not in the way. If you want to. You don't have to do it now. In the first one, I did it the other way where I did them all at the same time, but it's whatever you feel comfortable with. If you find that you get all your threads confused, do it now, and then you'll have less of a problem when you get to the next bit. Pull it out, grab my sewing awl. I love this long one. I mean, I love some of the other ones too. I also really, really love the pen one. If I ever wear a shirt with a pocket, I can just clip it on. I mean, I suppose I could clip it there. No? My shirt's too flimsy. Such is life. Alright, so again, we're going to do 3 knots. 1, don't be afraid to pull tight either. Not so tight you snap your thread, depending on how thick your thread is. I personally can't snap this one with my hands at all. My husband can. He's also a lot stronger than me. Love it. All right, flip her over. Let's lay down a whole bunch of double-sided tape. So we're gonna start at the bottom here. And then we're gonna go to that second hole. The first one doesn't count. And then we're gonna do all the way up, like so. And we can even put one all the way at the top, like that. Then grab our other one. So I did cut 2 of these. All right. At the bottom, like that, and then at this second one. That's if you don't want to have the fancy stuff in the windows. If you do, the pattern has that. I do find backstitching quicker than the tying off method, but the tying off method is a smidgy bit neater. So I suppose it depends on stuff. Now, I've got a card. Line the card up where you want. Draw a line. Double-sided tape. I mean, again, this marking is in the pattern. Alright, fold this one down, then pick this off, and then at that line, like that, fold it up, stick her down. Again, I'm going to grab that top thread so it doesn't disappear on me. What have I done this way? Into the hole, stitch, backstitch, always backstitch or tie it off. I do love this machine. I need to start using it more. Alright, line. Back, stick it down, grab this bit, peel it off, and then smooth it out. Nearly just lost it because I didn't have a hold of it. There we go, now it should be fine. Down we go. Back stitch, forward stitch, back stitch. Yes, I know it's feeling a bit repetitive. Welcome to card slots in general, people. Worth it though. I do like while it's like this. I'm actually going to make a bunch of winches hopefully next week. Might even make some more of these. These are pretty cute. And I do have a lot of vinyl, printed vinyl here. Inkling in the Cracket is my latest obsession, and I have a lot. I could do a Beetlejuice wallet, and I've got some beautiful sunflowers. All kinds of cool stuff. I've still got more of the glow-in-the-dark blood spatter, which, let's be honest, is my favourite outright ever. I also want to do a coffin wallet in the blood splatter. I think that would be cool. In fact, I kind of want to get more spooky stuff to do that too. I have so many plans of things I want to do, but I'm also still trying to like empty out my stock of current fabrics that I've got. Get it down to a more manageable size. I know some people love to fill their stash. I'm actually trying to do the opposite and have like 1 cube of fabric. That's all I want to have on hand, because most of my custom orders don't pick from stuff I have on hand anyway. I just need some stuff that I can do for that week, pretty much. And also, then I can go shopping and not get sick of looking at the fabrics. Some fabrics I've had in there for a very long time, and to be totally honest, I am sick of looking at them. I need to use them up so that when I go to my stash, I'm looking at all new things, and then I stay super inspired. So I'm doing the opposite of hoarding fabric. Or attempting to. I mean, it's not going overly well. I did just buy a whole bunch of dog fabric today so that I can make dog bags, but I'm going to, in a perfect world, cut it out after I've done the postage and then make them. Probably not over the weekend though. We're going to do fun things on the weekend. Alright, last one. So this one we're not going to stitch, we're just going to stick it down to the top. You get into a bit of a groove with card slots. These have the same amount of slots on both sides. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that felt like it went quicker than the first lot. You get into a groove, or at least I do. Alright, chop that off. Again, this might be long enough to do like a purse pal or something, so I won't throw them away. Then double-sided tape down both of the edges. So one here and one here. Alright. So my other piece has only been in the squishy thing for as long as it took you to watch this video. I didn't leave it in there and pause or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab out the other one and show you the difference in flatness. So again, we're going to fold that over like so, and then I'm going to stitch down that edge. Ugh, see, I just lost my thread again. I have a bad habit of doing that. This is why you should hold on to it. But anyway, it's fine. So we're going to stitch down this edge. So I'm going to 1 and 2, and then back into the first one, and then off I go. Right, pull it out, trim off those tails. Now let me grab the other one and show you the difference. So this is the one out and this is the new one. So I'm actually going to go and put them both into the heat press on off mode and squish them both down while we deal with the next lot. Let's do the next bit. So we're going to need a zipper pull and some tape. I'm going to go with the pink because I feel like a pink theme is happening right now. And we're going to need this piece, which I've already cut out the zipper hole. And some zipper tape, which you need to be that big. Again, measurements are in the pattern, guys. I just find it easier to do it this way, but that's my personal choice. I could have also done a pale pink zip, or I could have done a zip with cool, colourful teeth. Could have gone a lot of ways. This is just the way I chose. So I'm going to crack the zip open and put my zipper pull on. Like that, and just kind of put it in the first third. Then my 1/8 zipper tape, double-sided tape, is perfect for putting, actually, instead of putting it on this way, it might actually be easier to put it each side of the zipper hole. So I'm going to put it down there like that. And down the other side. And then I will pull off my backing. Make sure that the zipper is going to close the way I want it to. And then lay this over. Now I'm going to move the zipper, pull, so it sits on top of the zipper tape. And then I'm just going to line it all up like that. Push down on my double-sided tape, and now that is hanging in there. Next up, we need this one. Oh. So this is our zipper pocket. I already cut the hole, and I did in fact use double-sided tape to hold these down. Apparently it moved. Can't win them all. Right, so now I've got that. So we want that to go on this way. So again, more of the 1/8 of an inch tape because it's amazing. And I'm just gonna put it over the top of there, like this. It's just gonna be a little bit of a stick down. You could also stick it to the back of the zipper tape, whichever way suits you better. There is no right or wrong way, it's what you're comfortable with. And this seems to be what I'm comfortable with. So again, in the rubbish bin, flip it over, and it should just fit within everything. So like that. Just lay it down. Line it up with the edges. Ta-da! Oops! Ta-da! Okay. Me and my tails are going to start right here. And around we go. So everything's stuck together, so this should be relatively simple. That's going over the zipper. Now that I'm here, I'm going to make sure the needle is down. Lift this up, zip it over there, just to get it out of my way. Pivot. I'm also going to trim off this tail so it's not in my way. Pivot. Back to the start and back stitch. Now hopefully we caught the back. It's always good to check. I caught most of the back, if we're totally honest. So I've missed a bit. See here how I missed? So to solve that problem, I am just going to do another round of stitching. That is just slightly past the first one. And that will guarantee that everything catches underneath, and it'll just look pretty and decorative without being a problem. Also, the zipper theoretically won't be in your way either, as long as you hold the taggy part. And this will just look decorative and double stitched. And voila! And this time we're guaranteed to get everything. Ooh, and oh no, I snipped it already. That's fine. And so now everything is stitched down, and I didn't have to unpick anything because we all know how I feel about that. Ta-da! And so then that will sit like that. So before we go any further, my favorite squishy tool, and I'm just going to squish the zip up so that it sits evenly. And that might seem like such a little trivial thing, but look at that end compared to this end. I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely skinnier down the end are squished. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. And see, already skinnier. I can feel that it's skinnier at least. Alright, so now we're going to go the side where the zipper is. We're going to take our main panel and then put them right sides together and then flip them together like that. Now if you want to, you can use clips. I'm going to chuck in one. And I'm also going to draw on the seam allowance, which the clip is actually going to get in the way for, because there is no seam guide on this machine, which makes it a little bit more tricky to do. So if I just line up those two bits like that, ignore the craziness that I've got going on. There we go. So I'm going to put that in there. We're going to stitch, back stitch, forward stitch, lots of stitching. Ooh, yeah. Alright, pull that out. Trim off those tails, like so. Then I'm going to butterfly this open and just push it with my finger, and then I want to stitch each side of that ditch. What is pulling there? So we're going to go up, back stitch, flip, jump to the other side. I will remove that jump stitch a bit later. Stitch and back stitch. Up to the edge, back stitch. Ooh, yeah. In here is where we need to be putting these. So the raw edge parts, so the parts where we've stitched, sorry, there are no raw edge parts, are going to go in. So this is the look that we're getting. Right, so it's going to go over like this, and then this is the front, because this is our panel. That will go under, and then we'll have the bits come over like this. So, with that being said, and I hope that made sense to you all, we're going to take this one, we are going to line it up there, and then like that. So I'm just making sure there. So that's where the center of it is. So I'm going to grab some bigger clips, which are these ones, and I'm going to hold it down. Now I'm standing over this because I always find it easier to do tricky stuff when I stand up. It's just my thing. Go with it. So that is where the first one goes. And then the second one will be going here, but we're obviously not putting that on just yet. So again, grab all your tails, which are getting quite tricky. And then we're going to start here. So we're going to clip every edge that I put the clips on. So we're going to start here. 1 and 2. And then we're going to go back. And we're going to slowly pull off the clips. Pivot. Oh, I missed by that much. There we go. Needle down, pivot again. And then when we get back to the start, we're going to back stitch. Well, not to the start, to the end. Sorry, we don't go all the way around. If you go all the way around, you won't have this little pocket in here. Alright. So that's the first one on. Before we sew our next one on, we need to make our little straps. So, we need our 4 little ones of these, which I did just have right here. Where have they all gone? On the floor, of course. So, the easiest way to stick these together is with double-sided tape. So I'm going to take my 1/4 inch and do 2 strips of it. towards the edge, and I'm just going to put it on 2 of the straps because the other ones will stick to it. Or you could put one down the center of the other type. Depends on how much double-sided tape you really think you need. They are quite little, so that's probably excessive. However, each to their own. Alright. So now we're going to take all of that backing off. You can also take your 3/4 inch tape and just put one straight down the center. That probably actually would have been cleverer now that I think about it. So I'm just going to stick those together like that. Same with this one. This is thick enough that I don't need to put the interfacing or the stabilizer into here. So I'm just not going to do that. Line up the edges like so. Now we are going to stitch all the way around. Now I'm stitching this way, which I know is opposite to what I normally do because my foot is on this side and it just makes it easier. That last little edge is going to be tucked away, so I'm not super worried about that. And I'm just going to come straight onto the other one and go again. Needle down, pivot, across the end, pivot, down and back to the edge. So the double-sided tape held everything together quite well. I'm then going to take some scissors and just trim them so that they are perfectly even, because that one was a little bit out. We can blame my terrible cutting skills for that. I just want to clear everything up. Some of it's like a minuscule amount. That's nothing, but I just want them to look nice. So now we need to put in our press studs. So I'm doing gold, so let's move somewhere where we can actually do that. Alright, so we need to use our hole punch, and I want the end where the stitching is, and I'm just going to line them all up and do it all at once because I personally find that much quicker. Hole punch in and check. Then we need to switch these out, and I've got in this, I've actually got the 201 thicker press studs and the snap tabs. I'm going to use snap fasteners. You could also use the cute plastic ones if you have those. I do have those, I'm just not using them today. What have I got? Which ones are, so I've got a lot in here. Sometimes it takes a minute to figure out which one's which. So on here we want these ones. So the female goes on here. So we're going to grab the outer and pop that on there. And then this piece I actually put up in here, squish down and press. And that should, if you have a look inside of here, you can see it squishes down the metal on the inside. So sometimes you might need to come back and squish it a second time if you haven't pushed it down enough. So you want to really get it in there, and then we do the second one and we can go and attach these on. Actually, while we're here, we are also going to grab our piece of exterior for the cover, and this will show you where the snap panels go. So you can just line them up like so. Like so, and then we can put in these ones as well. So we're going to take this and push it up from the bottom, and then we take the little top button and put it either on here, or you can put it up into the machine. I personally prefer for this to hold it. If you find that yours isn't holding it and it falls out, move the little spring, just kind of twist it around until it holds again. Eventually the spring can become damaged, and that's why it's not holding it. So again, up in there, pop this on, squish that down, and so now we've got all of them. Now while we're still here, what you want to do is you want to clip them on. Make sure that they clip on and off, because if they don't, it means that something hasn't pressed somewhere properly. So if it's struggling, you will try and push it and it won't stay attached. So it's just really, really good to check before you move away, because like I said, you might need to re-squish that metal on the inside. That is usually 9 out of 10 times your problem if they're not working. Alright, so we have now got all of our snaps on, and so now we need to add this into here like so. Like that. So this is where they're going to go, but we need to make sure that they're going to be lined up with our press studs. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. The easiest way is probably with a measuring thing, but with the small space that I have, that's not really a thing. So what I'm going to do, and this might not be the best way to do it, but you can either do the measurements, which totally makes sense, or we can just line this up like this, here, like this. And I'm going to use a bunch of clips to hold it in place like so. Then I'm going to attach these to here. Now hear me out on this, right? I know this seems insane. Promise it's going to work out. 1 and 2. That's where they're going to go. So then all we have to do because this is technically going to go this way, right? So if we hold this, hold on, I've got them the wrong way. I'm just going to work it out because it's not the same measurement. I've got to go this way. I had them sitting the wrong way. That's why it didn't make sense in my brain. Have them hanging over the edge and then just fold it in half and tuck them in, right? So that this edge is lined up and then that edge is lined up, and that's where they need to go. So then I can take a clip it to there, and undo it. And then this one, same. And the reason I'm doing it this way instead of measurements is because every time I do it with the measurements, I personally botch it. Every single time. I don't know how. Even with my own pattern that I designed, if I don't do it this way, I botch it. So, that is where they want to sit. So then we can undo this part. Right, and be careful when we pull this. So this is where it wants to sit. Now if I want to be able to do this better, we can zip open, oops, like this, and then just put the clip through the zipper hole. Just to kind of hold it in place. We're obviously not going to stitch it to the zipper, but that's just holding it where it needs to be. We're going to move that out the way. We're going to come under here. Right, pull all of that. It was just to put the clip under. And then I am going to just stitch, let's move that up out of the way, here. Now I'm going to come and stitch back through this in a minute, but I'm just going to hold them in place because I don't trust myself. Make sure that your zipper pocket is out of the way. So I'm just going to stitch that right there because I'm an idiot and I know I will shift it if I don't do it this way. I promise I'm not being self-deprecating. I just know what I'm like, right? And so with all the times I've had to do this kind of stuff, this seems to be the best way to do it. So I'm just going to stitch here. We're going to go back through those stitches anyway. By doing it this way, you also ensure that you're putting these up the right way because that's also important. If you do them the other way, it won't work. So by doing it this way, everything sits the way it's meant to. They are now in. So now I can come to this edge here and I'm going to stitch all the way around the edge. Like I always had to, but now I can kind of do it without worrying that they're going to move. It's like tacking them in place, but you're going to see the tacking. So you might want to try and go back through those same stitches. That's all. Again, we're making sure our zipper pocket is out of the way while we're doing this, or your zipper pocket won't work later. Right? Pivot, take your clips off, across the top. So this top stitch here is also holding down that last pocket top. that we just stuck in place earlier. Right, look at that. Happy day. So this is shut. Now the wallet does say that you can put a whole bunch of stabilizer inside. I actually just want to put stabilizer here because everything else for me personally is thick enough that I'm not too worried. So I've got my piece of stabilizer and it's going to go right here. So I'm going to stick it down. You can also use glue. I'm pretty sure the pattern uses glue. If you want to though, you can cut out multiple ones and put one on every piece. But to be totally honest, this is already going to be thick enough because of the thickness of all of my vinyl. So I'm not going to need any more. That's just my personal thoughts on the matter. You obviously do not have to copy me. You can do all of the stabilizer. I just personally think that this is going to be enough for the vinyl I'm using. Different vinyls have different weights. Softer, flowier vinyl, you are definitely going to want to put the stabilizer on all pieces. But as this is already quite firm, and then I used my other vinyl, I think we're going to be all right. So now that's where we need a lot of clips. I'm going to take, do I want these ones or those ones? I actually think I want these clips to clip all the way around the edge. Now the other thing you can do, if you want to, is double-sided tape. So just to help out my holding, you can take tape, and I'm just going to put it within the seam allowance along here, and then along here, and then along that edge. So you obviously just put it on one side because we're going to stick one side to the other side. This will just help hold it, but I'm also going to do clips because I want it to stay absolutely where it's told. And this, I think, will be the best way to do that. So I'm going to peel off all the backing off all 3 bits. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to start with this edge up here. Alright, stick along. Actually, this sticky tape by itself is working out quite well. But obviously, if you don't want to do that, just add more. Right, especially where the zipper pull happens to be. And then again, so this has come off crooked, so we're just going to stick it back on. For the most part, that actually went really, really well. And so then that will come around and that will clip on, whoop, there, like that, and there, like that. So far, so good. So now we're going to open it up. And I'm going to start here because of, again, normally I would start here if I was on the other machine, but because I'm on this machine, I'm going to start here. Otherwise, the walking foot part won't catch. Oops, wrong button. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go and bring some more of that down. All right, so we're starting here like that. Forward, back. And then forward again. Turns out I didn't actually need clips because I used 1/2 inch tape. What would be even better if I had got the 3/4 inch tape, because it would have given a nice firm hold, but this seems to be holding quite well. So and needle down and pivot. I'm just going to slow down when I get up to this zippery part. And then again backstitch. Trim your tails. And that tail that I missed earlier. And look at that, we are all done. So you've got your zipper section here, then we can fold this round. So you can get into your zipper section without having to open your wallet. So you've got that bit there, and then you pop it, and then you've got all your cards. Which, oh no, that's right. I thought I just did them all upside down and I was having a moment then. I was about to scream on camera. But no, we're fine. So, right side's up, open her up, and then there's all your cards. And then you can put your coins in there. That's actually really cute. If you want to, you can also put edge coating on here. I would personally do a hot pink, but that is really, really cool. I also didn't put on the little tab bits here. I did cut it out, but decided because I didn't do a book cover that the snakes didn't really need it. If I was to do them, I did cut it out in the print. What I would do instead is cut it out in the solid pink to have it as more of an accent. But that was really, really fun. I like that wallet. There's a very good chance I'll be making a lot more of these. So until next time, guys, I will see you then. Bye-bye.